ever been called selfish, congratulations. You officially have boundaries in your life. I struggled with this for so long. I was constantly held back by the constant feedback that I was getting from my friends, from people around me, from my family specifically. And over time, I realized that being selfish, sometimes doing things just for yourself, is not a bad thing. It's actually not a bad thing to be different, to do something different, to move in a different way than your family, than the people around you. I let go of the fear of being judged and being called selfish because I realized that being selfish is really just putting yourself first. As I say, there is only one person that will be consistently with you throughout the eternity and entire life that you will have, and that is yourself. You and yourself are the only person that you are going to be with 24 hours a day for the rest of your life. So if you're not making yourself happy, no one else around you is going to be happy either because you radiate whatever feeling and emotion that you have onto other people. Think of it like a mirror that's being held up. If you're not happy, other people outside of you are not going to show up as happy. Any vibration that you radiate outside of yourself is exactly what comes back to face you. So if you're struggling with putting up boundaries because you are worried about what will people say? Will people say I'm selfish? Will people say I have my boundaries are too strong? I'm being too intense? I honestly, everything has a extreme, a black, a white. I always like to be somewhere in the gray. I'm not saying go be alone and just only do things for yourself. Not at all. But in terms of when you are speaking to yourself, when you think about thoughts and you think, am I doing this for myself or am I doing this to please other people? Always come back to making choices that are going to benefit you. Okay? It doesn't mean leave the rest of the world at hang and screw everyone else and only I matter. Absolutely not. But in terms of I'm going to make myself happy first, that's exactly what you need to do. I was called selfish so long. And every single time that I was called selfish, it would be like a bullet that I was taking. It would feel so counterintuitive to who I had to be. I was raised to be a people pleaser. And at times, I definitely can still have that. But I wasn't going to let that be a defining characteristic of myself. I wasn't going to let other people's opinions be entitled to tell me who I was internally. If you know who you are from the inside out, you do not have to worry about what the external world might think of you. Because again, the only person that you're with 24 hours a day is you. So you're the only person that you truly need to please in everything. You need to think about yourself first. You need to think about how you can help yourself. There are way too many people that take advantage of people like you and me. People that give everything and are so generous and grateful and give their time and free advice and everything that they give out. Guess what? Those people are never rewarded. You won't get a medal at the end of your life saying, congratulations, you're a people pleaser. Here is your honorable mention for this award. No one's ever going to do that. The more that you're constantly living for other people, the more that you realize you're creating a bigger shell for yourself. You don't know what it is that you like anymore. You just try to please everyone else around you at the cost of then you physically becoming ill. You become sick. You become so used to caring about what other people say and leading your life through whatever means they want you to live that you forget all about yourself. And this is the most dangerous situation to be in. The more that I was called selfish, especially by my family, constantly telling me, you're so selfish in this, why don't you think of others? I would never do that if I were you. Good, because you're not me. Everything that I built up to have boundaries was honestly, I realized, never across in being disrespectful. Stop it, like not caring what other people, not caring about other people. It was never about that. It was me simply being and saying, I'm going to live my life for myself. And the moment that I made that decision, everything changed. It did not change overnight. No way in hell. It took years. years of taking those bullet wounds over and over and feeling so guilty and thinking to myself, am I wrong here? Why is everyone telling me that I'm being selfish? Am I the one that's really wrong here? But then things started moving in my life. Things started happening. Experience started coming about. And I realized if I hadn't been selfish and put myself first in those situations, my life would have been completely different. I truly stopped asking for permission. I stopped asking people's opinion on things. That was another huge one that happened for me. That was life changing. I stopped asking for permission. Asking, well, do you think that this looks good on me? Well, I don't know. Like, what are you going to get for lunch? All of these tiny micro questions of just not being able to make decisions, again, led people to live my life for me. So all of a sudden, I'm not at lunch eating the food that I really wanted. I'm eating what my friend proposed that I had. Was it bad? No. Was it my choice? Also, no. Could it have been my choice? Yes. There's the self accountability. And I sometimes give of too much of myself in terms of people are asking me, "Oh, well, you should do this." Telling me, "You should do this." "Oh, no, don't do that. Change it, like do it like this." And I can also be like that person in my life, telling people, but I admire and I respect people that are say, "No, thank you. I'm not going to do that. That's not for me. No thanks." I admire those people so much because I can tell that they have boundaries. I can tell that they know what's best for them. They've thought about it. Not just they're doing things like unintentionally and without intention, but they truly know what they want and they know what they want and what they don't. People that are very clear minded and know how to make decisions are, I think, one of the most resilient people on planet Earth, especially right now. If you are able to make decisions quickly or decisions at all nowadays, you are like 100% ahead of the game because everyone is being affected by what is it called? I don't know if there's a name for it, but pretty much when you can't make a decision, you have this paralysis. Maybe it's called decision paralysis, where you literally have all these options and you literally cannot pick one. Because as human beings, we were never meant to have a million options of things that we could do, places we could travel to, hobbies we could have. Everything nowadays is a choice. And it takes a lot and a lot of energy to constantly be making decisions. So the faster that you learn how to make decisions, the better your life will be. Back to what I was saying about selfishness and being called selfish over and over again. Again, I would not have achieved the majority of the big amazing things that I have in my life if I would have waited around and asked for other people's opinions or heard them when they talked about, well, this is so dangerous, don't go to that part of the world, don't do this, don't do that. People that live in fear are so obvious to be seen. It's so clear for me to see someone that's just living based off of their fears because they project their fears onto you and they tell you things, they tell you horror stories and how can you do this and you have to be careful. I'm not saying that they're wrong and that these things never happen, but the more that you focus on something, the more likely it is to happen. So if you are constantly telling yourself that you need to be in fear, you're constantly going to have things in your life come up that make you fearful. Let go of the idea that being called selfish is a bad thing. I hear this with so many people, specifically when it comes to their parents. My parents, well, my mom didn't want me to come on this trip. Well, I feel bad because now, like, my mom is just raising my other siblings at home and I'm not there to help her. All of these tiny things, I'm like, people's parents have a really nasty grab on them. And most of the time, parents have the best intentions for you, you know? But at the same time, their limitations and their projections will always fall onto you. Everything that they wish they would have been, regretted that they did, they're going to shine a light so heavy on you. And it's your obligation to tell them no. Like, just because you lived your life like this, just because you regretted this, just because you didn't have this, doesn't mean I want to have it. Just because you see the world in one certain way does not mean that I need to live my life from that way. So, really look at the connection that you have with your parents. I truly think the strongest connection that you can have with your parents is being an actual independent adult apart from them. You know, people that just rely, I'm not saying relying on your family is a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing that a lot of people don't even get the opportunity to have. But the more that you're able to, again, have boundaries with yourself, like truly know yourself, you will be able to ask and distinguish what your parents are telling you that you really agree with and want to follow, and what are the things that, no, you're not going to take their advice on. Not everyone that's older than you is telling you things based off of just wisdom. A lot of it is fear and projections. And how do you protect yourself from that? From you knowing truly within what's within you. If you're scared of being told, like, I told you so, I told you this wasn't going to happen, I told you you weren't capable of doing this, the only thing that you are there is wrong, or you just made a mistake. You try again. Like, it's not the end of the world to be making mistakes. It's not the end of the world to do something and, oh, it failed. Oh, I wasn't successful. And what if that's the case? The most resilient people are the ones that get back up when they fail, not the people that never failed. So many times people say A plus students in school do so well academically. When they get to the real world, they're hit with so many stones because life doesn't work in terms of you do everything right. Like, the less mistakes that you make, the more valuable you are. It's actually the more mistakes that you can get up from is what makes you the most valuable. So this is just a reminder today to stop living for other people and truly start living from within, living from what you need, living from what makes you happy. I promise you, it doesn't matter how many times people call you selfish or conceited or you're different, or even like culturally, you're just like them now. You just act like them now. All of these things, again, if you are playing the middle ground truly and you're facing your life from this gray point of view where you're not on one extreme or the other, and you are literally just benefiting yourself, not causing harm to other people, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. And people will talk and talk and talk, but this is the thing. One day people will respect you. One day people will say, damn, I saw where she came from and I saw where she went. I saw how her making her own decisions, even though I told her to make a different decision, led to a better outcome than even what I wanted her to have. People don't know the way that your life is going to go. And anyone that says that they do is again projecting off of their lived experience. My advice to you is truly to look within yourself. Find yourself. Find yourself from within. Be passionate with yourself. Be creative. Be inspired. Be intimate with yourself. Know yourself from the inside out. And no one else around you can tell you anything about who you are, what you can achieve, what's possible, what's not possible. If people saw inside of my brain the things that I know that I can and believe I can and will achieve, they would go mental. They would probably tell me, "Oh, well, good luck trying that. Yeah, maybe not this year, maybe next year." It doesn't matter. That's why I also don't talk about the things that I'm doing until I'm showing them with my action. I'm not a talk first and then deliver later, because the people that do that never end up delivering. I deliver with actions. And people notice that. And again, it gains me so much respect. And it's not this thing of I'm waiting to be respected by other people, but it does matter. These things do matter. They make me more trusting of myself. Anytime I'm having a difficult time trusting other people, I again look internally. Where am I not coming up? Like, where am I not pursuing myself anymore? Where am I having a disconnect with my own self? That's the first place you always look, internally and within. I hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below. You're not alone. This is completely normal, and trust me, there will be a day where those bullets of "you're so selfish" will turn into admiration. Not even just like "good for you," admiration, because people respect the people that choose themselves and know what's truly good for them, rather than follow the flock and do what everyone else does. This was Mindset by Natalia. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.